I'm your host, Annie Bowles, and this is News du Jour. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the News du Jour, a calmer space to consume the news. So we have a bunch of important stories to go over today, from the WHO coming out and blaming China for hiding information about the origins of COVID, to what's going on in Paris right now with garbage on fire, and the TikTok founder potentially spying on Americans. Let's get into it. So up first, like I mentioned, the WHO, or also known as the World Health Organization, the group that first raised the alarm bells about COVID-19, has come out as saying they believe China has been concealing some of what they know about COVID's origins. They still don't think it came from a lab, but the WHO believes that COVID-19 actually originates from a type of animal called a raccoon dog that some people sell illegally at the Wuhan markets. You see, there was this data that recently came out and then quickly after disappeared. This data suggests that a bunch of swabs were taken from animal cages at the Wuhan market back in 2020 by the Chinese government when the pandemic was just beginning. But a French biologist did get her hands on this data, and she and her team are still parsing through it, looking for answers. We'll definitely keep you guys posted if we hear anything from them. But what they did say is that there was a recurring theme of swabs being from raccoon dogs. So it seems the Chinese government may have been, at a minimum, looking into a connection there at one point. Of course, as we have covered, there has been a Republican House panel set up to look into the pandemic's origins. They're pointing the finger at the Wuhan lab, kind of, but it may be more nuanced than that, or maybe it's a raccoon dog that started it. Either way, let's hope that we can get to the bottom of the situation and hold China accountable for whatever it is they're covering up in order to prevent another such catastrophe. And on over to Paris. So we have to discuss what happened with Macron and his government. So things have gotten very precarious for the president of France, you guys. People, as we have mentioned, are very, very pissed off about his forcing through this legislation to raise the retirement age by 2 years, from 62 to 64. At this point, it's like all-out riots in Paris. But before we get into that, let's chat about the no confidence vote. So basically, the legislative body in France can fire the existing leaders by voting that they have no confidence in them. This would be a way for Macron's opponents to basically fight back against him and against this legislation. The closest thing we have to it here in the US is being impeached, and then actually being removed from office. But they did vote, and, well, Macron's government survived, but just by a thread. They got 278 votes of no confidence, but they needed 287. So they were just shy 10 votes that they needed in order to oust Macron. And now there are thousands and thousands of French people out in the streets protesting, and they are acting out much more dramatically than they were prior to this no confidence vote. They have set trash and cars on fire. Also, because trash collectors are among those striking right now, there haven't been trash collections. And so the streets of Paris are looking more like a dump. In a matter of days, the city has kind of been reduced to a trash pile. Some people on social media are obviously poking fun at this. But now it's not only a trash pile, but a burning one. There have also been similar protests going down in Marseille and Nantes, and a national day of striking is planned for this coming Thursday. If you're tuning in from France, please stay safe. Let's hope that this can all calm down and get resolved swiftly. So the Justice Department is now looking into whether or not TikTok's owner is spying on Americans and particularly journalists. The investigation involves the FBI and the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia. They are worried that China is trying to keep their ear to the ground while looking for ways to undermine American democracy with more subliminal campaigns. The company did actually admit that certain employees had been caught spying on journalists, and this is just bringing U.S. concerns about the company to new heights. As we have mentioned before, U.S. and European government employees are required to not have TikTok downloaded on their phone because these governments believe TikTok might be used to hack into their networks or otherwise put our state secrets at risk. We all know that the potential ban of TikTok here in the United States hangs in the balance if they cannot come to some type of an agreement with the company that would keep Americans' data safe. One option that they're looking into is having Americans' TikTok data stored somewhere here in the US. But who knows if that would even be enough to keep it safe. I don't think anyone wants TikTok banned, but if this behavior doesn't stop, it may be our only option or bargaining chip. Stay tuned. And that is the news du jour. Today, I want to leave you guys with the quote, "What you think, you become." If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe on whatever podcast platform you use to listen. A rate and review or shout out on social media would mean the world to us and help us be able to keep creating the news du jour. But the best way to support all of our work is to become a patron at www.patreon.com/sugarfreemedia. You can also follow us on social media under sugarfreemedia.co on Instagram and just sugarfreemedia, all one word, on TikTok. We appreciate you listening and look forward to telling you about the news again next time on News du Jour.
Broadcasting from Oklahoma.
When it comes to work, communication is key, even if you don't have a writing job. Sounding unconfident, indecisive, or passive-aggressive can hold you back professionally and hurt your team's productivity. Grammarly Premium's advanced tone suggestions make sure you're always sending the right message. Sound clear and confident in your writing and automatically replace negative-leaning language with solution-focused alternatives. With Grammarly's help, you can build stronger relationships at work, be constructive in the face of challenges, and help your team get things done. Grammarly works where you do, so your team's projects get done before the deadline. And with features like comprehensive spelling, grammar, and clarity-focused sentence rewrites, Grammarly helps keep your writing efficient and mistake-free. The right tone can move any project forward. Get it just right with Grammarly. Go to Grammarly.com/podcast to sign up for free. Then get 20% off when you upgrade to premium. That's 20% off at Grammarly.com/podcast.